Hey everyone, it's Shmuel. We're going to talk now about your headline, which is the first thing you're going to write. Some people do it later in the process, but I recommend doing it first because, in my philosophy of marketing, your headline is your hook. And your hook is that which makes your offer interesting or exciting and makes it different from all other offers. That's to me what a hook is. People have different definitions, but that is what it is to me. Um, Having a hook, a good hook, is a golden opportunity to differentiate yourself from the product that you're modeling. Mainly because most other people doing products, creating products, don't know about hooks and don't know about headlines the way they're supposed to be. And if you can do it right, you can not only grow your business that much faster and convert people into buyers that much easier, but you can also differentiate yourself more from the product that you're modeling so they don't accuse you of copying them. If you have a completely different hook, then you have a completely different letter. Even though you can take a lot of elements from them, but the more you can come up with this original, the better. And ideally, you come up with a hook by going through your own experience and then eventually reaching the point where you've learned some things that made a breakthrough in your golfing, let's say, or in your cooking. You make that breakthrough, and that's going to be your hook. What made the breakthrough? So this is going to be cool because I'm going to build a business in front of you about golf, and I know very little about golf. I played golf like maybe 5 times before. I know nothing about the strokes, but this is the whole point of what we're doing is to show you that you can do this with any product. Um, so you can claim, I just found this out by doing a little Googling, that if you claim that you can get them a 70 stroke game, that's something like a professional. That's something really good. So I know 70 strokes is really good. If I say 100 strokes, it's also average, but still pretty good. So I can talk about the amount of strokes. Now, I don't need to know anything about golf. I just do a little bit of Googling and look at the other people's letters about golf, and I'll know so much. So the hook could be some unique place where it came from, like a particular herb helps with diabetes, and it comes from Honduras, or it comes from some wild flower. I recently wrote a letter about diabetes that was based on how dolphins can teach us about diabetes because they're able to turn off and on diabetes like a light switch. So what can they do that we can't do? That's a hook. Talking about dolphins seems like an unusual thing that makes it unique and special and different. Um, I'm going to give you a bunch of examples in the next video probably of hooks that I came up with for a wellness and energy drink, which does not make you feel wired. And these are all hooks, or hooks are also called big ideas. It's the same thing, a big idea. What's the big idea of the product? And Agora, which is has some of the best copywriters of all companies in the world, they spend weeks just coming up with this hook, just coming up with this big idea. They call it a big idea, and they go around to their friends and say, "What do you think of this? What do you think of that?" And they brainstorm. It's all about the big idea that can make or break your business. If you have a good big idea, you can be extremely successful very quickly. So look at your competitors' headlines for basic things like how big is their headline, what color is their headline in, how long is their headline, and stick with what they did because that's not really copying them. It's just copying things that anybody could do. But just so you know, there is a formula that's the basic formula for a headline, and it is the following. Here is the benefits, like you're going to get 70 strokes that I'll give you. And here's why it's so unique and special, because it came from somebody who was a one-legged golfer. That's what an old ad that was always used. That's your hook. The one-legged golfer is your hook because it's something makes it interesting and different, and it also makes it more unlikely to succeed. The more unlikely it is to succeed, the more powerful your product must be. If a one-legged golfer can succeed, your product must be really, really powerful. And we also want, and then we want to say at the end of the headline, the stuff that you don't need to make it work. You don't need years of trial and error. So you always want to address the objections that people might have into the mind of the prospect. So for golf, we have to find out look at the other letters and see what the objections are that they address. What exactly is causing them to have doubts about your product? Is it that they'll feel like they have enough experience, or they don't have the right clubs? Whatever it is, you have to find that out and put it in your headline at the end of the headline, saying it's not going to require A, B, C, D, and E. And that's a good headline. And I'll give you a bunch of headline examples in the next video.